Alright, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 14th day of January 2026. A lot of stuff to go over today. Some new stuff that you don't have access to yet. Some new stuff that you may not have seen yet. Some older stuff. But anyway, we'll get through as much as we can. I'm sure we'll get through it all. Alright, so I have 4 markets going here. These markets that I typically trade in the morning session. Okay, and you can see there are some different colors in here on these bars in the middle. Let's just look at this. The NQ's actually got one going right here. Right now the NQ actually had one going a minute ago. Oops, that's not the NQ that I brought up. That's CES. The NQ is this one. Alright, and let me go down here and just get rid of something down here. Let's get rid of the synthetic one. So we just have the regular one. Okay, the NQ just had 2 different types of trade right there. Okay, it had this one, which is the new one you don't know about yet, and this one, which is the one I discussed last week. 3 different types of trade. It had this one from outside the band. Now, for those of you who don't know, right, when you get TV trades, you sign up for TV trades, you get a bunch of things, right? You get access to TVT Swing Bands, that's what you're looking at right here. Access to the TV trades, I'll turn that on so you can see it. I minimize that. With the TV trades, you get, these are basically giving you an indication at the beginning of the trend, alright? So you can get 1 arrow at the beginning of the trend. Okay, and by default it only gives you long trades, and it's color coded. You can add short trades by doing that, and it'll give you 1 arrow at the beginning of the short direction. Alright, now that is pretty good stuff, pretty basic. Originally that's all we wanted. You can actually show a target table on there that adds this target table. That gives you a stop and some targets and all that if you want to. You can show the risk and reward on the target table. So it shows risk and reward based upon price action. You can actually put the target lines on the chart if you want to. And this is all inside the TV trades indicator. This is the very first one that we did. Okay, you see these lines right here are target lines based upon this right here. It's saying you should have gone long right there with an initial target right there, secondary target there, third target there. That's what it was suggesting. Okay, now you can you can add more targets and stuff like that. But I just wanted to give you a familiarization of what the TV trades was at the very beginning. Alright. Then there are other things you can do inside this too. I didn't add that. You can go in here and add it so it has trades, mid-trend trades. Trades that trigger in the middle, not just at the beginning. Okay, you can have a bias level, so you're only looking in one direction at a time based on a larger time frame. There's a bunch of different things. Okay, all this stuff you can go and watch videos on. If you go to this one, no, if you go here to targetviewtrades.com, go here to more, and right here you can go through the stuff in here. The sniper, the trigger, all those things. Okay, I want to just cover the basics because I know there's some people in here who've never seen this before. So I'll shut that off, okay, and then we'll go to the sniper. Okay, now the sniper built on that, so you see the background colors are the same, but the sniper doesn't do it at the beginning of the trend, it does it in the middle of the trend. Okay, and you can see it gives you this at the middle of the trend. And the sniper has a few other qualities to it, things you can add, like the sniper alert notice. It's going to let you know a little bit ahead of time that you got a potential trade coming. Okay. And these yellow arrows correspond to price going in or out of the overbought or oversold down here. The trigger going in or out of the overbought or oversold down here. Alright, now all these things have alerts tied to them. If you wanted to put alerts on it, they'll have alerts tied to them. We'd go in here and come in here and choose these different types of alerts. Okay. Now I don't want to spend too much time on that because I'm working my way up to where we are now. Alright, the range trigger. This is this is what the default range trigger looks like. Okay, and when you become a subscriber, then you'll be given a password, and that enables more things on the range trigger. Okay, you see it enables different colors in the range trigger that happen to let you know that you should be looking to go in the opposite direction at certain times. It does. There's a whole bunch of things you can do in here. Once you add that on, then you have the optimum trigger. Right? You have optimized trigger alerts, optimized signals only, the buy and sell area. It puts it all up here on the bars, and by default, the range trigger turns the bar color on. I'm probably going to switch that off because I don't really use that so much anymore. Okay, that's the range trigger. Now you can see this one up here is a synthetic trigger that I created. I wanted to work my way up to that. I wanted you to see what we've been working with, over the past couple of years, everything that I've built and how it all evolved over the past couple of years. Alright, so now the scalp tool, that was a big deal for me when I was building the scalp tool, because that can be used in a lot of ways, with a lot of different things you can turn on that, and some really good trade setups in there as well. Okay, now everything that you've been seeing here, excuse me, so far everything you've been seeing here is with the trend, right? We didn't have any counter trend trades in there anywhere. The scalp tool, when you turn it all on, you should go watch the videos about the scalp tool. I'm not going to go into the whole thing in here, but if you go to targetviewtrades.com, and there's one here just for the sniper. I think that's what we're on right now. We're on the sniper. You can watch a video here for the sniper. The scalp tool, the trigger, you can watch a video here for the trigger. Past webinars is where you're going to find things for the scalp tool. When I first introduced the scalp tool, okay, there's like, I don't know, 2 months worth of videos in there, so probably 8 videos in there about that stuff. Again, that is at targetviewtrades.com. Go to past webinars. Right, there's over 100 of them in there. You can also go to our YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/@targetviewtrades is our YouTube channel. Okay, so I'm showing you all this stuff just so we can build up to where we are now. All right, that was the scalp tool. Now, the swing trade was something that I created that was kind of a standalone thing, and it gives you these these gray arrows, letting you know that a black arrow is going to be coming. Now this is kind of counter trend. Okay, the swing trade is kind of counter trend a lot of the times because it happens at the end of a trend or at the beginning of the new trend. So it's kind of a counter trend thing. Okay, you will get times like this where you have this right here that gives you this long move down, then it pulls back up and it gives you a second one in the same direction, and it pulls back up. It didn't give you a second one here, but this would be a counter trend move to that move. This would be a counter trend move to this move. But ideally, you would have this, you'd enter here, and you'd exit after the first gray arrow. Okay, you'd enter there and exit there. Over here, you'd enter here and exit here after the first gray arrow. Right here, you'd enter here and exit after the first gray arrow. Okay. Ideally, that's how it would work out. Obviously, you're gonna have your risk management strategies, and you're gonna trail your stop, and you're gonna get out with profit here and there, different places. But that was a swing trade tool. Okay. That is a standalone thing. You don't need anything else with it. It's just what you see. You have the gray arrows that trigger, and they tell you get ready. A gray arrow pointing up says the next up close is likely to be a black arrow, and that's going to be a trade. A gray arrow pointing down says your next down close is likely to be a black arrow pointing down, and that's going to be a trade. Okay, that's what these gray arrows are. Now, if you're already in the trade, then you get that gray arrow. You're not going to know you're going to have a gray arrow until the bar closes, but you can exit the trade right there at the close. Okay, if you're using the gray arrows to exit the trade, then that is one way to get a lot out of each one of these trades. Okay. All right. So I said all that, the first 11 minutes, just to bring us to where we are. Okay, so if I get rid of the swing trade thing and I put the swing bands on. Now the swing bands, let me just minimize that, and I'll put on the basic swing bands that you guys have. This one right here. Okay, this is what it looks like when you put it on. Now it's got all the same stuff that the swing trade stuff had. It's got all the same arrows showing up in all the same places that the swing trade had. Okay, if I put the swing trade on, it's all the same arrows, it just doesn't have bands. Okay. And you know what I said about everything being trend trade until we introduce the swing trade stuff, everything being trend trade with the trend. Then we introduce the swing trade stuff, and that's usually going to happen at the end of the trend. You know, if you stay in it till the end of the trend and then the trend changes, and you stay in it till the end of the trend and then the trend changes, and you stay in it till the end of the trend, and then eventually the trend changes over here. You stay in it till the trend changes, stay in it till the trend changes, stay in it till the trend changes. Okay, so with the trend change, when you're exiting the trade over here, you get your counter trend trade right there. All right, that's the idea. That is the whole thought process behind it all, is to be able to get you in there and stay in there. Oops, hang on. Get in there and stay in there. I guess I can let it run really slow. I have this peddler thing underneath my desk, and I just accidentally turned it on. Alright, so that's the swing trade stuff. So sometimes you're going to have something like this that doesn't go, and it's going to be followed up by that, which eventually went, but it pulled back pretty deep before it did. You're going to have ones in the middle that are not really in strong trends. You know, you're going to have some of these like this right here, and those will still stop you out. But, you know, these right here. So, in my search, my quest to reduce the number of these things right here that stop you out, I created, there's a couple of things before I get to the stuff that I created. To minimize the number of trades that you take in here, to really grab the ones that are at the end of the trend, that's when we introduce the bands. Alright, those are the ones, when it shows up, they're outside the band. Those are the ones you want to take. If the arrow is outside the band, those are the ones you want to take. Now, this tool, by default, I have it by default, not repainting. It's the endpoint version. But there is a repainted version of this that looks like this. Looks a little different, a little smoother. In real time, this is what it looks like. Like, there's a long trade right here. In real time, this is what it looks like. Now, that first trade that I took earlier was over here, and I took 4 ticks profit on that one. I could show you the print on that in a few minutes, but this right here would be a trade because the arrow triggered outside the band, right? So you expect, ideally you expect it to get up here to the other band. That's what you'd expect, right? And so you're not taking trades that are within the band, like this one right here, and this one right here. That one right there is within the band. This one over here is within the band. You're skipping those and you're taking the ones outside the bands. All right, the ones outside the bands, they tend to work out really well, and they work better when the market's not in a real strong trend. Right, when the market's, when it's sort of meandering like this. They work out really well when it's like this. All right, but if the market gets in a really strong trend, like back here, okay, let me explain something else. When you use repainting, as you move around, as the price moves around, in real time it's going to be fine, but as the price moves around, you can't do back testing with a repainted version. Okay? And the way I recreated this so that it only repaints like the first 200 bars, and then it doesn't repaint anymore. So you could go back and look at this back testing, but I took the repainting off by default because honestly it's just about the same without the repainting. You see you had the same trade setups, all the same stuff. It's just about the same. It's not as smooth looking, but it gives you just about the same results, and you can do the back testing. It doesn't repaint, and you can go back and look at it. Okay. Now I have said a whole bunch of things and nobody's asked a single question yet. Does anybody have any questions at this point? Because I know I said a ton of stuff, and we had a trade right here. We had a trade over here. There's a trade here. This is the one that I took. I got 4 ticks profit on that. I didn't take that. I didn't take that. I didn't take that. Alright. So if nobody has any questions, then I'll go into what I think and what I know is the one got you with this. This is great, right? These are great indications. Sometimes they pull back too deep, and that would have stopped you out before it pushed down. But when you have a strong trend like this right here, when it gets into strong trend, and you get a stop out right there, and you get a stop out right there, well, that'd be enough to get the stop to break even. But neither one of them actually went in the right direction. Okay, this would have been your real stop out right here. That didn't go enough to get the stop to break even. So you would have gotten this one, and then this one would have stopped you out. You would have had this one, which was a good trade. This would have been a break even. This would have been a break even. This is nothing. This is nothing. You would have had that one, which is a good trade. That one's nothing. That one's nothing. Nothing. That's a good trade. That's a good trade. That's a good trade. That's a good trade. This one would have stopped you out, and then this one would have stopped you out. Okay, so this situation right here is what I wanted to. Is really what I wanted to work on. Okay, so a few of you guys asked the same question in there. Initial stop and management. Fred asked, and Nilesh said, "How do you trail?" And Mark said, "Is a strong trend when the angle is very acute." It is, but there's more to it than that, Mark. But yeah, a strong trend is when it's going up pretty steep right here. But there's more to it than that. Okay, because you can have a strong trend over here, and that works out right there. That one worked out just fine. So I'm working on all that. Now, the one easy question that I had, that was an easy answer, Tam Joe Group. Click on this thing right here. Click on that, and go to symbol. That's not symbol, go to canvas. And it's right here. Okay. Right here. I think this is this one right here. Or maybe it's that one. I don't know, something in between. Did I make it? I don't know. You can make your own. I think it's that. But anyway, that's how you do it. Okay. Alright. So the risk management, the stops, moving the stops, and how do you move your stops and all that stuff. Let's get into that a little bit. Alright, I'll just refer you to this. If you go to the home page here at targetviewtrades.com. Now the risk management is not based upon the market, it's based upon the bar size. Right, the range bars that I use. So what I'm using in here right now, the charts that you see, I have a 7, a 9, and a 19. I have a 7 and 2 9s and a 19 is what you're seeing in here right now. Okay. So the risk management for that, the 7 has a 10 tick stop, goes to break even after 4 ticks in profit. Now that one does actually go to break even after 4 ticks in profit. The 9 has a 15 tick stop, goes to break even after 5 ticks in profit. I actually bump it to break even plus 1 tick. Okay. And the 19 range has a 25 tick stop that goes to break even after 10 ticks in profit. I actually bump that to plus 4 ticks. Goes to break even plus 4 after 10 ticks in profit. Okay. Okay. Now, Anjum said how to take a trade on it. Well, if you had something like this right here with the gray arrow pointing down, now usually a down close of the next bar is going to be a black arrow pointing down. It didn't happen in this case. That's unusual. It's usually going to be the case. But when you have a gray arrow, you just get ready for the down close of the next bar, and when you get the down close of the next bar, you just sell it. Alright, it's as simple as that. When you have this gray arrow, you get ready for the up close, and if you don't get the up close, you don't have a trade. You finally get ready for the up close, you get it, you just buy it. Gray arrow, just looking for the down close, looking for the down close, you finally get it, you sell it. Okay, it's as simple as that. The risk management, this is a 19 range, so I'd go to break even after 10 ticks in profit, or break even plus 4 after 10 ticks in profit. And then I trail my stop. Now, how do you trail your stop is the next question, right? Well, if we go to the next level on this, when we throw the mid bands in, like before I put the mid bands in, I want to do the G line, because this was something that one of the fellows who's on the trial asked about. So this is how you put the G line on. Okay, the G line. It's inside the swing bands. You just click G line. Now, Daryl, are you in here today? Daryl, there's a whole bunch of people in here, and I just want to see if Daryl's in here because he had asked me a question last night. And of course, this is all you have to do to turn it on, right, Daryl? And I know I have a layout out here that is shared with you guys. It's got a bunch of stuff on it right now. I gotta go check that one out. Let me just save this. I'm not gonna go there right now, but I will get to that in a little bit. The thing that I use this for is if you do get stopped out like that, then the next trade you take in that direction, you want to have it hook this line, the G line, and the outer band. Okay, that should keep you out of multiple stop outs some of the time anyway. Like right here, it just about hooked both of them right there. Okay, if that one were a stop out, it just about hooked both of them right there, so that wouldn't have been a trade. This one right here, we stopped out on that one did not hook them both right there, so you wouldn't have taken that. That one did not hook them both, so you wouldn't have taken that. Okay, when I say hook them both, what I mean is I take this. Thought there's a way for me to blow this up. Anyway, what I mean is if this tab right here, the close, is above both the G line and the outer band, like it is on this one, if that happened on the trigger bar right there, then that would be a trade you might want to take. But if it doesn't happen that way, after you've stopped out, if the next one doesn't happen that way, then you probably just want to skip it because you are in a really strong trend. Okay, did you catch that, Mark? And okay, let me bring it back up. So if you stop out, then the next time you have a trade, you want the trigger bar to close beyond both the G line and the outer band. You want it to be more like that one right there, not this one. Like that one right there. Okay, like this one right here, for instance. Like that one closed on within the G line and the outer band on the other side of it. That's the kind of thing you want. Okay, yeah, you want it all the way on the inside. And Anjum, how do I take the trade? I mean, I don't know if you mean on the DOM or how do you mean how do I take the trade? Like this right here is a trade. So right now, I just click right in the green on the DOM. So I'm long right now, 10 contracts on the NQ. This is a valid trade right here. That's on a 19 range. So when it goes 10 ticks into profit, it's going to bump my stop to break even plus 4. Okay, that's how I take the trade. And it just stopped me out. So I got minus 25 on that one. Yeah, I should write this stuff down. Okay, I am keeping track of it. So this right here, what the heck? This right here would be a good example of what I was just showing you. If we got an up close on this, there, you see how it did hook them both right there. That's what I was showing you, Mark, right there. It hooked them both, so that would be one you could take right there. After you stop out right there, the next one hooks them both. It gets on the other side, the other side of the G line and the the G line and the outer band. Okay, so that would be one you could take in there. Okay. Now it went enough. I didn't get it, but it went enough to get my stop to break even. It had to go 10 ticks into profit. It would. What is going on with this? It went enough to get my stop to break even. It would have had to go 10 ticks into profit, and it did go 10 ticks into profit, so it would have bumped me to plus 4 if I'd have gotten it. But I didn't, sadly. Alright. So that's all that stuff. Okay. With the G line. Now, the next thing that I did, I'm going to take the G line off and just show the mid bands for right now. Okay. So all these things from the outside of the band, they're usually counter trend trades, right? They're counter trend trades usually. They're counter trend trades. So if you wanted to take trend trades, that's why I introduced the mid bands. Alright, because a lot of times you're going to be in between here and price will go down here to the mid band. And this goes back up to some of the other questions that I had about stop management and targets and stuff. When it gets to the mid band, then that gives you an opportunity to trade with the trend. Okay? To trade with the trend. So like right here, the trend is down. It comes up, it hits the mid band, and you have an opportunity to trade with the trend right here. That's what the purple arrow is. Alright, the purple arrow is a trade with the trend. If it's red, then you're looking for a down close with the purple arrow. If it's red, you're looking for a down close with purple arrow. That one didn't go very well. If it's blue, you're looking for an up close with the purple arrow. Okay, so we almost have another trade right here. You see how this is coming together right here? If we have a down close on this bar, I don't know that the black arrow is going to be outside the band. I don't think it will be. So it's got to go up a little bit more and then give us a down close. Okay, see, it's not outside the band. So that's not a good trade right there. Alright. Let me take a breath. Alright, so lots of stuff to cover. And this is, we're just looking at one market right now. I'm going to start trading all the markets here in just a minute. But the trading with the midband. Now you can trade off the midband. You can use the midband for a target. Like let's say you got a short right here. You can use that midband for a target, initial target. You know, typically you should go band to band, but if you want to go to the midband as your initial target, that's fine. So that's usually where prices, well, if it's going to go band to band, obviously it's going to hit the midband first. And that's great. And so in searching for a way to reduce the number of these things right here, this is really annoying. That usually only happens when somebody's messing around on my laptop in another room. Let me just look down there and see if anybody is messing around there, because they have cameras everywhere. Hang on. Okay. Okay, it looks like Christina was cleaning. Our health aide, she was cleaning. And she moved it a little bit. Alright. Would I show the settings for the mid-bands? Sure, Hal. The mid-band settings, this is just to turn them on. Right, this turns them on. Right there. Alright, now the purple arrows go on automatically when you turn it on. The intra-bar mid-bands, I mean the mid-band, intra-mid-band bars, that's the white ones. If you turn that on, then you'll see some white bars appear in here. Okay, that's what turns those on. Now, let me first tell you what the purple bars are, or the information the purple bars are giving to you. Okay, you get a purple bar when you're in a downtrend like this, and price opens above the bar and closes below the bar. And this is where the trigger comes in. And the trigger comes out of the overbought. Okay, so it's got to do that. Open above, close below, come out of the overbought. That's going to give you a purple arrow. Alright. And going in the other direction, open below, close above, and come out of the oversold. Okay. Open above, close below, come out of the overbought. Open below, close above, come out of the oversold. That's your purple arrows. Okay, that's how you get the purple arrows. I know Michael R. Not the Michael. Well, I know we have two Michael R's, but we just had a purple arrow right here. Alright, so that would have been a great trade right there. So that is for you guys that want to trade with the trend. If you don't like doing the counter trend stuff, these things right here, if you don't like doing the counter trend stuff, then do them with the trend. Okay, you can take the mid-band trades with the trend, and those work out really well. Now I'm really working on that stuff, but to help isolate these, actually to reduce those or actually cut them all out if I could, I started looking at something a little bit different. which is a synthetic time frame. So what I did is I created a smaller time frame using the data from these bars. Okay, and so this is just your basic trigger. It's the same as this trigger. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that second trigger, and there was just a trade right here that I didn't get. I created a second time frame, a synthetic time frame that's based upon, no, get ready for it in here. That's based upon the data that I can pull out of the actual price action from each individual bar in here. Okay. Well, that was a big move up. So this would have been an awesome trade right here. Obviously I didn't get that, but it would have been a great trade. So the synthetic bars I haven't distributed yet because I'm still working on the best way to use them, and I really can't do them for everybody all at once. I can't do it for all the time frames all at once right now. I'm still working on that too. But basically, what it gives you is a second line down here. And what I'm doing with it right now, if I get rid of the regular trigger, like that, and say okay to this, and I shut this swing band off, and I turn that swing band on, then what I'm looking at in here, let me just make sure this is set to the right thing. 1 second. Yeah, okay, that's all good. What I'm looking at in here is when price goes into the overbought and when it goes into the oversold. When it's the right color in here, using this is the synthetic one. So I'm not interested in the down close after it does it. I'm interested in the up close, right? Like right in here, for instance. Well, right here, for instance, this black one right here. When price goes down and you have blue mid bands like that, and it enters into the oversold using the synthetic time frame, it enters into the oversold, you would buy the open of this bar. So this is a white bar. So with the white bar, you would wait till after the bar closes. But with the synthetic bar, you buy it right there at the open of that bar for the move up. Okay? So it's getting you in a full bar earlier, right? It's getting you in a full bar earlier than the when it goes into the oversold is when you enter, not when it comes out of it. Right? When it goes into the overbought is when you enter, not when it comes out of it. Okay, that's what I'm working on, and it's a pretty cool thing, and I'm just scratching the surface with it. So I wanted to show you guys that because I think it's going to open up a lot of doors for a lot of things. Kurt, you did not get any purple or white bars, and you turned on those things, and your bar colors don't look anything like mine. Send me a picture of what yours look like, Kurt. You can text it to my phone or send it to me in Telegram or send it to me anywhere, and I should be able to tell you what's going on, hopefully. Okay, so that's what I'm working on. All right, and that is going to be, I think that's going to be a great feature for everyone, really. I think as I keep moving forward, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm able to do now with artificial intelligence. There's a lot of things I'm able to do now. Stuff that I would have had to figure out that would have taken me a long time to figure out on my own. I can throw problems out there at AI and it'll, as long as I ask the right question, I usually get the right answer. So it's allowing me to do things for all of us, for you, for me, for all of us traders, allowing me to create things that are just going to be better and better and better. And you can't have AI. You can't say AI just go out and create the best possible trade setup that you'd ever have. I mean, I've tried, and it won't do it for you. It'll tell you, it doesn't know, it can't do that. It doesn't know what's going to happen next, and it'll give you about 100 different things that you can try to do. But but what it can do is I can throw problems at it that scenarios that I see with the stuff that I've already created, and find things like like after you get 3 of these, does it matter if you have 3 or more, or is it really significant if you have 3 or more? And we're long the gold. I just took that one there on gold. We're up to plus 1 tick on that. And go to plus 8 ticks on that is what that was. Okay. So we're looking for a down close over here right now, and there's a down close on the NQ. Okay, now the indexes are really running up pretty strong right here, so this would be one right now. Actually, that wasn't outside the band. That's not even a valid trade. You want it to be outside the band. You want it to be outside the band. Okay. Now I took it by accident, and it just gave me all 45 ticks right down to the midpoint. But well, I'll make that a different color one. Hang on. Okay. That was not a trade there either. Alright, the white bar was, but that wasn't. This white bar was, that wasn't. This purple bar was right here. You know, if you're doing a whole bunch of markets like this, and you have a whole bunch of different trade setups like this, you're really gonna be confused. You're gonna overwhelm yourself. It's already overwhelming me. You don't know what to buy, sell, the open. How to buy or sell the open of the next bar using NinjaTrader. You know you don't use NinjaTrader, but you thought maybe someone else listening may know how to buy or sell the open of the next bar in NinjaTrader. I got something I can show you. I'll send you an email, TMJoe, of something that will really help you as far as NinjaTrader stuff goes and buying and selling the open of the next bar. Okay? It'll be really helpful to you. I did take this NQ black bar right here, and that just gave me another 45 ticks. My target on the NQ is 25 tick stop with a 45 tick target. And those last two actually gave me 45 ticks. I should probably start writing this down. Okay, let me go out here to the Wednesday totals page because I should keep track of it here. So on the NQ, now we have 71 ticks. And the YM, we don't have any, and gold we have 8. Gold we have 8 ticks. Okay, and so far our number of trades, we've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades. 5 trades. With 1 stop out. Okay, that's where we are right now. Let's make that a 0, and that a 0. That's where we are right now on the session. So 80% of the trades we've taken so far have given us break even or better. And this was just another one right here that I missed. I mean, the trades are just all over the place. You know, if you trade a whole bunch of markets and you're trying to do all these trade setups, you're going to have a ton of trades. You know, if we just focus on one market, like right here, this was not a valid trade. This was a short to the long right there. That was a long because it was a white bar. But those of you guys that were here last week when I introduced white bars, whenever I introduce white bars to you guys, if you have a black arrow with a white bar, those are usually really strong trades. This black arrow, this black bar right here said to short. This said to go long. So there's just trades all over the place right now. And I jumped on that long just a second too late, and it just gave me 4 ticks in profit right there. Okay, so let me put that over here in the Wednesday totals. I don't want to jump around super fast. I know that's what I'm doing right now, but I don't want you guys to get lost with me jumping all over the place. I want to be able to answer your questions and show you the trades as they come up. So let's just focus on a market that's not jumping around really fast. Okay, let's go to gold right now. Okay. Okay, I send that in. Let me just write it down. The buy, sell entries on the DOM the same as the bid, sell, and ask. Well, when I'm trading, if I'm putting a buy, sell, or sell stop, if a buy stop limit or sell stop limit order on, I right click like that, and that's my buy stop limit order. So if price gets up here, it's going to fill me there, right around there. All right. If I am slow getting into a trade and it's already closed and hasn't gone to the point where I move the stop to break even, but I want to be in the trade, then I'll just click in the green. I'll left click in the green like that, and that will put me in at the current bid. All right, it'll be a limit order at the current bid. Okay, And if I want to do it for a sell, I just click in the red, it'd be a limit order at the current ask. That's where the yellow is. Be a limit order at the current ask. Okay. That's how I do it if I don't have a buy stop limit or sell stop limit. If I have a buy stop limit or sell stop limit, then it's a right click. If I'm not ready for that, like right here on the gold is a trade. So I left clicked right there. Now I wish I would have gotten filled on that, but I didn't because that was a trade right there. Alright. But that was a left click and I clicked in the wrong place. If I had clicked up here at the top, then I'd have gotten filled, but I gotten filled probably right up here somewhere. Okay. So you're not getting the white range bars. Yeah. You have to make sure you have the latest version. Okay, the white range bars, I put that out last week, so if you don't have the latest version, you're not going to have the white bars in here. So inside your swing trade bands, I'll just put a fresh one on. Okay, inside your swing trade bands, by default, they're not going to be on. The white bands are this one. The white bars are this one right here. Now, you can have the white bars be the only thing you show. Okay, I mean, you can literally have the white bars be the only thing you show if you want. You don't know what they mean, but they're not in context until you show everything else. But if you check the show mid bands, and that's going to give you the purple bars and the mid bands. And if you have the show intra mid band bars, what that means is the mid bands are blue. You're in the oversold, and price is going to open and close in this range below the band. That's when you get the white bars. All right, if the bands are red and price is going to open and close above the red bands, and you're coming out of the overbought, that's where the white bars are. Okay. They're the same gray and black arrows, Mark. So like in this case right here, it's a mid band trade because you're not outside the band, so you're not really thinking to go for the black arrow here. But if you have the black arrow and you have the white bar, then that's an okay black arrow to trade. Okay, you're not really trading the black arrow in that case, you're trading the white bar. But usually when you get a white bar with a black arrow, regardless of where they are, they're usually going to work out really well. Okay, this is gold, right? See, I have like a bunch of trades on gold here while I've been talking to you guys and I haven't taken any of them. See, a down close right here, right now, would be a purple bar, I believe. There it is. It's a purple bar. Okay. So, just sell it like that. And now we'll see where it goes. It should go down here to the outer band. It should go down here to 40.8 is where it should go. It's got a 15 tick stop on it. It'll go to break even plus 1 tick after 5 ticks in profit. So when it gets down here to 43.2, it'll go to break even plus 1 tick. Okay. And it should make it down there. It should make it all the way down to here, 40.8. And my target happens to be down there. 30 ticks is at 40.7. So I'll just trail my stop and we'll get out before then probably. There it is, plus 1 tick. Now I'm just going to lock in 2. And it got me out with 2. Okay. Hang on, let me go put that in over here. I keep wanting to write it down like it's the morning session. Okay. Let's go back in here. So we have a gray arrow right here. Now this is not going to turn into it could turn into a white bar. It could turn into a black arrow with a white bar. So you could have that going on right here on this bar. All right, there's a down close. There's a black arrow, there's a white bar, there's the trade. Okay. Now, I know this is a lot for you to take in, but you can watch this video later, again and again, slowly. And, let's just go through this trade and I'll go through it slower with you, okay? You gotta get 5 ticks in profit, it's gotta get down here to 0.4. The yellow has to hit 0.4. We'll go to plus 1 tick. Okay. And the yellow's got to hit 0.4, not the white. And there it is. Okay. Well, it's on its way anyway. Alright, so we're going to lock in 10. That's $1,000 right there. 12, that's 1,200 bucks. 20, that's 2,000 bucks. Dang. 20 more. You see how simple that is? Now, let me go through here. That was 20 on the gold, right? So that puts us at 30 now on the gold. And that becomes an 8. So we're at 6,750 bucks in this session. I missed a ton of trades. A ton of them. Just trading gold. But let's just take that last trade apart. Okay? Now, I'm going to make a picture of it so it's not jumping all around. Okay? It's easier for me to do it this way with you. Alright. NQ just should white bar with the black arrow, good for a few ticks. That's what I just took, Cal. Yep. So, in this trade, while this was happening, let me bring something else up here so we can do this in a different sort of way here. This file, new window. Here we go. Alright. So right now, this is all that you know, right? This is all that you see going on, and this is all that you know right now. What's happening right here, right? So you go bar by bar, and right now you get the black arrow, but it's not outside the band. Bars are red. You're already out of the oversold, so you're not going to have any kind of a white bar or anything like that in there. So it goes further and further and further, and now you're back underneath. If the next bar were to stay inside the bands, right? If it were to stay inside the bands, close up and come out of the oversold. If it would have closed up right there, then it would have been a white bar, but it didn't close up. It didn't close up, it closed down. So now you have a gray arrow, right? You have a gray arrow pointing up, and what that says... Hang on, let me take a drink. Whew, we're only halfway through this. Okay, so what this tells you is that... Hang on a second. Okay, I was getting hot. I had a hoodie on. And what this tells you is that the next up close, if it's a black arrow, I mean, the next up close could possibly be a black arrow. That's what that's telling you right there. The next up close could possibly be a black arrow. All right, it probably will be a black arrow. That's what this is telling you. The grays pointing up like that. That's what they're telling you. So there it is. You get the up close, you get the black arrow. Now this black arrow is inside the band, and the bar is not white. So you're not interested in this black arrow right here. Okay. And click still not getting the white and purple bars. Can you send me a screenshot? Kurt, did you send me a screenshot in Telegram too? You said you were having problems. There it is, Kurt. There you are. Okay, I'll take a look at yours in just a minute. Let me finish this explanation and then I'll go look at it. Okay? And Tim Joker, you guys too, send me the screenshot. So right now we have this black arrow, but we know this black arrow isn't anything we want to act on. Okay? So we'll see where it goes. It goes up, and it keeps going up. Now you're at the mid band, right? You're at the mid band right now. So you've closed above the mid band, and you're in the overbought. So right now, a down close, if the next bar opens here and closes down and closes below the mid band, it's going to be a purple bar. Okay? It'll be purple because you're going to come out of the overbought and you're going to cross down below the mid bands. That's what makes it purple. Okay, so if that happens on the next bar, that's what it's going to be, and then you'd sell short. Right? That's what you're going to be looking for there. And there it is. That's what happened. And so you'd sell short right there. Now the stop on this is a 9 range. The stop is 15 ticks. My stop goes to break even plus 1 tick after 5 ticks in profit, and I'd expect it's going to get down here. Okay, whatever that number is down there, that's what I'd expect. Alright, so it starts, and right in there my stop would be a break even plus a tick, and then I'd be out with 1 tick right there. Okay, so now it goes up even further. Now right here, right here you have a gray arrow pointing down. Now there's a couple of things with this, okay? You have the gray arrow pointing down, but it's right in the middle. So if you have a black arrow right now, it's going to be in the middle. So without a white bar to go with it, it's not really going to be, it's going to be a meaningless black arrow. It would be like this one right here. Alright? Black arrows are more meaningful if they're outside the bands, or if they're with a white bar. Now, you're inside this band up here, right? Inside this band right here. So if the next bar hang on, JP. So the next bar on this, if it closes down and price comes out of the overbought, it's going to be a white bar. It'll also probably be a black arrow if it closes down and that comes out of the overbought. It'll probably be a white bar with a black arrow on the next bar. Okay, and there it is. It did all that stuff. So that is usually a really good trade. Alright, I know the black arrow is inside the bands in this one, but a black arrow inside the bands with a white bar is usually a really good trade. I don't know what this one did. Okay, it went down pretty good. So you'd be expecting it to get down here, right? That's what you'd be expecting. And it got most of the way down there. Right, so now you have red in here. You're not getting any kind of arrows in here at all, so you're not going to have anything through there. Right, I guess that brings us current. That brings us current, right? So while I was talking and all this, I missed that one right there. That just happened while I was talking about all this. You couldn't have stuck it out in Telegram? Okay, these white purple bar trades would just be easier with a buy sell pop-up toggle that you can turn on or off. Well, I'm just explaining to you what they are. You can turn them on and off. You can turn them on and off, right? No, this is a picture. I forgot this is a picture. Right, so I don't know if that ended up, I don't know what happened after that. That's when I cut the screenshot. But here it was right here when I cut the screenshot. So in real time, I don't know what happened after that. It went up, so it hit right there. Now right there, you're overbought. Right? I don't know what happens after this. Right there, I know you're overbought. And if it gives you a down close and it pulls out of the overbought right here, it's going to give you a white bar. Okay. It didn't. Now you're all the way up there, you have a gray arrow. Now the next bar, you're in the overbought, you have a gray arrow. If the next bar closes down, I don't think it's going to be outside the band, so it's not one you'd want. Right? Now it is outside the bands. So now the next one would be a black arrow outside the bands closing down right there. You're going to take that right there. Okay, anticipating it's going to get down to the midpoint at least, and probably down to the outer band. You got to the midpoint. Okay, so now you're at the midpoint, you're oversold. You have blue now. So with blue, to get any kind of a colored bar in here, with blue, you have to cross the midpoint. Alright, to get any kind of a colored bar, you have to cross the midpoint. Oops. Let me do that. So, where were we? We're right here, right? Try to drag it on the other screen. Let's see if I can drag it right here. So we haven't crossed the midpoint there. Now we've crossed the midpoint. Okay, so we have blue and we've crossed the midpoint and we're oversold. So on the next bar after this, if we get an up close, it could possibly be a white bar. On the next bar after this, if we get an up close. We didn't. Okay, so now we're getting down to the outer bands. Oops. Getting down to the outer bands. Now we have a gray arrow, so if the next one closes up, it could be a black. Oops, and it was a black. Okay. This Windows thing is just driving me nuts. Okay. And so the next one was a black arrow, so right there you're going to take that trade. If you're doing the black arrows outside the bands, you're going to take that trade right there, anticipating that it's going to get up here to the mid-band. At least to the mid-band. Okay, and it gapped right up to the mid-band, so if you had your order waiting on that, you made a bunch of profit right there. Okay, so now nothing, the mid-band is red, and nothing crossed the mid-band, so you're not going to get any colored bars, alright? It's got to cross the mid-band. If it's red, it's got to cross above the mid-band to get any kind of colored bar. Okay. And there's the first cross of the mid-band. And you're overbought. So now a down close on the next bar, if it closes below the mid-band and pulls out of the overbought, you're going to have a purple arrow. It didn't. So now the next one, if it closes down, it'll be above the mid-band, you'll have a white arrow. Not a white arrow, a white bar, I think. It didn't, but the same thing applies to the next one, and that one didn't either. So now I have a gray arrow pointing down. If the next one closes down, it didn't. If the next one closes down, it'll give you a black, it'll give you a black arrow. If the next one closes down, and it should be outside the band. Okay, there it is, and it is outside the band. So you're going to take that, anticipating it's going to go down here. Now that's going to be a counter trend trade. If you're doing the counter trend trades, you're going to take that, anticipating and move down to the mid band. Okay, and there it is. It starts going down, and it didn't quite hit it. So you'd be out of the trade over here with a little bit of profit. When it gets up this far back into it, you'd be out of it with a little bit of profit or a break even. Okay, for me it'd be a break even plus 1. So it does hit the mid band right there. Now it's crossed the mid band. It's crossed the mid band, and you're oversold, and the mid bands are blue. So right now you have the potential for a colored bar, right? And up close on this next bar, if it crosses the mid band and comes out of the oversold, it'll be purple. It didn't. All right, now you have a gray arrow. Now the next bar, if it closes up, it'll give you a black arrow in the middle, which is only going to be valid. It's only going to be worth taking if you have a white bar to go with it. So you're going to have the up close. It's going to come out of the oversold. The mid bands have to be blue, and right there it was a down close. And so you go to the next one. There it is right there. That's the one that you want right there. Okay, now I don't know if that went up or down, but that's the one you want. And it did. It gapped right up. Okay. So that's it, and that's current. So that is it. Okay. Now, so maybe you can turn off black arrows that are not outside the swing bands and don't have the colored bar. You can turn things on and off as you want to in here. Now, I did create it one time to only put the ones on that are outside the bands, but people are using the ones inside the bands too, so it makes it kind of hard for me to do, you have a million switches, one that turns it off outside the band, ones that turns it off inside the band, ones that turns it off. But it'd be 3 different ways, I guess we'd have to do it. But I get what you're getting at there. You know what I mean? I know what you mean. But when I originally did this, when I showed you the TV trades one in the beginning, if you went back and looked at one of the early on videos, all I had were these 2 things right here. I had one indicator with these 2 things right here. I didn't want to have a whole bunch of things, like a whole complicated thing like all this. I didn't want all that. But here we are, a few years in, 2 years in now, 2.5 years in, and you guys keep wanting more, so I keep giving it to you. Your suggestions like that right there, JP. Stuff like that, and it makes it better for everyone. But it makes it complicated for people who are brand new. They see this stuff and they're like, "Oh wow, there's no way I'm ever gonna be able to figure that out." And it's not that hard, really. It's not. There was just a trade there, and I can't find my darn DOM on the gold. There it is. There it is. All right. So I will take that. I'll take that under advisement, JP. Okay. So now, a couple of you guys were having issues. The gold here. It's at +1 tick right now. It should make it down to the swing low right here. I'm sorry, the outer band right there at 39.0. It's got a swing low right there at 39.8, but we're going to get out with the 1 tick. Okay, so let me just put it over here. Put that in. So at 31 there. And 9 trades. But you see, so far, 88.89% of our trades have been break even or better out of the 9 trades that we've taken. And we're up, if we just 1 contract, it'd be $685. With 10 contracts like I have, we're up $6,800. And that's good. We're bringing up the average a little bit today. This white bar right here is a valid trade. Oh man, I keep thinking I'm on the NQ here. I keep thinking I'm on the NQ, and I keep going over there to place a trade on the NQ. And then I'm like, oh, well, I already missed that one. Because my NQ DOM is all the way on the left. And when I look at it way over here on this side of my screen, that's normally my NQ chart. The gold is normally over here. It's throwing me. Alright, so let's open it back up like this. And I want to look at the couple of things that you guys have sent. Kurt, you had sent me. Nilesh, how do I decide which bar size to trade? Which times the best times to trade this method? Okay, do I trade the open? I do trade the open. I actually trade... I like to start at 927. Okay, 927. History has proven that usually between 927 and 930, I can get my goal. And these days that I have just 1 trade, one trade to get the goal. See how many minutes it takes. Usually it's between that 9:27 and 9:30 that I'm able to get my goal for the day in my very first trade. So the markets, you see how many there were in there? The first trade. The markets, they set up right there at 9:27, and usually between 9:27 and 9:30, they're good. Now, the question was, what are the best times to trade this method? You can trade it any time of the day. I mean, you just saw in here so many different trade setups that triggered again and again and again. So you can trade it any time of the day, but the best times, the times that I like to trade, I'll tell you the times I do trade. You know, I trade 9:30 in the morning to 11:30 in the morning, but of that span, 9:27 to 10 o'clock is usually really good. I usually make good money between 9:27 and 10, and I've been doing, if you look in here, from 1 to 1:30, right? I usually 1:15. If you start at 1:30 and subtract this number of minutes, I'm averaging about $137 per contract in 15 or 20 minutes of the day between 1:15 and 1:30. So that is another thing, okay? During market opens, the market likes to trend one way. Can this method apply? It goes both. It doesn't matter which way the market's going. Like, you know, if you're doing especially if you're doing the outer band arrows, because those are counter trends, so it doesn't matter if you're trending. You know, you actually kind of want a weak trend where it flips back and forth a lot. I don't enter with a market order. I enter with either a buy stop limit or a limit order. Now, you may have a thing like, you know, there usually is a thing in here that says buy market. I don't even have that. I don't have it set up that way. I took it off because I don't buy market. If I'm going to hit right here, it's going to be a limit order right there at the current bid. If I hit right here, it'll be a limit order right here. It'll be a limit order right here at the current ask. Okay, that's the way I enter trades if I'm not ready for it. If I'm ready for it, then I'd use buy stop limits or sell stop limits like that. Okay, that means price has to get to those places to execute. Right, that's how I do it. Now, I've been doing this stuff for a really, really long time, so it's, you know, I'm really fast with all this stuff. And if you're new to this, you need to get the mechanics down. You need to get the mechanics down in demo. You need to trade just in demo for a while until you can, until you can get your DOM and you can click on it anywhere you want, know exactly what you're going to do, and know exactly what it's going to do. Okay, it's important that you spend that time figuring out the mechanics, because I mean, you can do everything, technically right. You can make all the right moves and follow all the rules and do everything technically right, but if you screw it up because you clicked the wrong button on the mouse, then you might as well have not done anything at all. Okay. Which market is most accurate? Well, that's different on any given day. Which market do I make the most money on? Well, that's different on any given day too. If you look here, see the totals that I have so far for this month. The NQ, I'm making more money on the NQ than anything else. I'm losing money on the ES so far this month. Gold in the NQ of the markets this month. Last month it was the NQ, gold in the ES. Month before that it was the NQ, the ES, and then gold. And the month before that it was gold, then the NQ, then the ES. And the month before that, the NQ is usually a big one because it's so volatile. I get more trades on the NQ than anywhere else. But so you can see it varies from time to time. I can't tell you which market is the most accurate. I don't know. I can't tell you that ahead of time. I can tell you which market is likely to give you the most trade setups is the NQ. Okay, but being able to actually trade those trade setups, that's a whole other thing. Can you get in there and can you place the trades fast enough? Can you do the math in your head fast enough? Can you get your DOM doing what you expect it to do fast enough? Those all play into the markets that you trade. Something right here. This should be something, but I don't have everything turned on. I don't think. I don't even have the trigger turned on in there. I think I shut it off. So I turn that on. There we go. Do the blue mid bands with a white bar. Blue mid bands with a white bar below is a long trade. Yes. Yes, if you have blue mid bands with the white bar below, you're only going to have a white bar below on a blue mid band, and you're going to have a white bar above on a red mid band. If the white bar is above, it's a short. If it's below, it's a long. Okay. I did have it so you could change those things around some. Because if you have a white background, then you're not going to see the white bar. So to see that, you'd go into the swing trades, and I believe it's this one right here. You change it to something else. Yellow bar. See? Yellow. But white jumps out at me. So just another nice trade right there on gold. I want to answer your guys' question. Tim Joe, you sent me that link, and you copy that and stick it in a browser. Paste. When should you retire? Okay, we're getting things ready. Okay, that got blocked. Stick it in Telegram. You have a Telegram channel, don't you? Mine is at trading_I_Q is mine. And Kurt, you had sent me something in Telegram. So yours looks like this. Now what were you saying about yours? You didn't have the bars? And you have what you have going on right here. Go down to your TV Trades range trigger and shut off the paint bars on that. That's what you have. It's painting the trigger is painting all the bars on you. Okay. So down here inside your TV Trades, well, it'll be in here too. Under style. Oh no, I guess it's not. Huh. Let me put one of these on here. This is what you have. Okay, Kurt. So by default, once you put the password in, by default it's going to paint everything. Go in here, click on that under style, shut off the bar color. Okay, that's what you have going on right there. If you shut off the bar color, then it'll go away. Okay, and Tam Joe, that might be the same thing you guys are having too. Okay, do you have all blue bars like Kurt did? Maybe the same thing. Alright, we'll see you in the morning, Mark. Why do I not use TV Trade? I do use TV Trade. What do you mean? You mean TradingView? This is TV Trade. Gordon. Very similar to what I'm doing, but with automation. Alright, good. Alright, so I think that's going to fix both of you guys, Tim Joe and Kurt. I think that'll fix both of you guys up. Gordon, somebody there is, I don't know if Jessica's in here. There's a whole bunch of people in here today, and I don't know if Jessica is one of them. I've had several people over the past week. You are there, Jessica. Several people over, well, 3 people over the past week. Give me different automation things. And everybody's, it's like all these things are coming together all at once in my head and everybody else's head at the same time. So I'm doing the best I can. But Jessica, did you respond to my message? When I texted you, I said, is that the 50 plus, or is it just that whole thing? I did respond to you. Alright, so I'm looking for the down close over here right now on the NQ. Down close should be a black arrow right there, and there it is. And my stop just bumped to +4, and it just took me out with 4. Okay. It actually took me out with 2. It wasn't 4. I'll show you. Oops. That's the thing we were working on earlier. It was 32.25 down to 31.75. So 1, 2. It was 2 ticks on the NQ. I don't want to get rid of that screenshot that we were using yet. So we could have a colored bar over here right now. Could have a white bar on the gold, right? Because we're in this range. It's blue. I'm not touching anything, and we're oversold. So you could have a white bar on an up close on the gold. Okay, and you could have the same thing over here with a black arrow on the NQ. Alright, so it could be with a black arrow on the NQ. White bar with a black arrow. There's a white bar on the gold, and that one's already bumped my stop to +1 tick. And now I'm going to lock in 10. And I'm out with 10 on that. And we got the same thing going on the NQ. And my stop's bumped to +4 already. I went up to +8, 12, and we're out with 12 there. So there were 3 more trades. Okay, there were 2 on the NQ, 1 for 12. That would put this at 87, and 1 for 4 would put it at 91. Oops, 91. And the gold had 10 more. Right? Oops, 41. I'm in the wrong place. Crap, I gotta undo all that. Okay. This is the Wednesday totals. Okay, so that should be 31 plus 10 to be 41. And this was 12, so that'd be 87. And 1 4 tick was 91. And this one over here, I believe that should have gone to 9. Okay. Trying to keep it as close to accurate as I can. The gold, I believe the gold had a white bar right here. I don't know if that one went 5 ticks into profit right now. You could jump on it right now if you want, or just not. Wait for the black arrow right here if you want to. There's going to be a black arrow over here. There's going to be a black arrow over here. So you have 3 outer band black arrows that are going to trigger. Now 4 black arrows. Outer band black arrows are going to trigger. Every one of these markets has got one setting up right now. What is the stop loss for the GC? It's 15 ticks, Mike. On a 9 range, I use a 15 tick stop with a 25 tick target. Okay, 15 tick stop with a 25 tick target. Okay. So I got 2 of them. I just got 4 ticks on that one, and I got the ES. Right now the ES is at break even, I think. Yeah, it is at break even. I'm gonna go +1. Alright, so I got 4 ticks on the NQ one right there, and I got... Was that the ES? I shouldn't have been in the ES. Crap. Alright, well I got 1 tick on the ES, but the ES didn't trigger yet. I hit the ES by accident. I missed the gold. The gold was a good black arrow right there. Okay, so let me just go put those in before I forget. We're going to have an up close right here, and an up close right here will both be black arrows outside the band. A down close over here is nothing yet. Okay, so I know this is a lot of trading. John B, I got to answer your question. I see you're in here. 3:44. We still have 16 minutes left. I didn't put in those last couple of trades, but I got 4 on the NQ. I put that at 95. And I got 1 on the ES. This is the ES over here, I think. Which one is ES? ES is this one. 1 on the ES. Okay, that's 11 trades. John. There it is again on the NQ. There it is properly on the ES. We still didn't get it here, but we've got a short over there on the gold. Alright, we still didn't get it on the YM. Still didn't get it on the YM. Alright, John B, I want to go look at your question. I brought it up. I brought it up earlier. Jessica, waiting to see if it... Oh, okay. And you'll call it Lola. Okay. Let me see. I wanted to... Oh, John, I was going to look at my email from you. I had it open, I thought. Because what you wanted to know had to do with equities, right? I don't which email address you sent that to. Jen, Joseph, Charles, John. Here it is. You had said, you see the ES and the NQ. Can you change these to other features like gold and YM? Yes. And you want to know if this would work for sell signals and stocks, not options. Can you change the charts for the stock as well? Yes. Alright, so John, are you watching? You are watching right now. Okay. I just wanted to make sure before I go into this with you. To change symbols, all you have to do is just click on the chart like this, right? If I want to change this to like a 0 bond, a 30-year bond, just take the ZB, and it brings up anything beginning with ZB. But if you just do futures, click over here, it's on the CBOT, choose a down. You can use ZB1, that's the leading contract, or you can use the H because that's the current contract, and just choose that, and it changes it. Okay, that's how you do that. Now if you want to trade stocks, then just do, let's do Tesla. Okay, TSLA, just type that on there. You can go to stocks, Tesla, click on that. Now you can use range bars on stocks, but the way that it works is every tick is 1 penny. Alright, so for a $430 stock like this, all the same stuff still works, but you're not going to want to do that. Every bar is a dime. You want every bar to be like $2 probably. So you go to a 200 range bar, and then every bar is $2, and it's all the same stuff. Okay, white bar, you go long. White bar, you go short. White bar long. White bar short. Black bar short. Black outside the arrow, you go long. Outside the band, you go long. Black outside the band, you go short. Black outside the band, you go short. If you're just buying stocks and you want to use the swing trade logic, you could buy right here and stay in it until you get up here, until you get that gray arrow right there. Okay? If you're just buying, you buy it right here and stay in it until you get your first gray arrow, and then you expect it's probably gonna come back a little bit. Alright, you buy it here and stay in it until you gray arrow. And if you want a larger time frame than that, you can go on a larger time frame than that. But on a 200 range, every bar is $2. Okay, every bar is $2. So you can go to a larger time frame if you want to. But everything that we're doing works on everything. You know, I had one guy that messaged me the other day, and he's using a 2500 range on Forex, and he's doing really well with it. A 2500 range on Forex. No, I don't do Forex myself. I'm good with futures. I think there's plenty of money to be made with futures. But I wanted to show you that, John. Okay, and you don't have to change anything else. Just put it on, and the indications are still going to be there. All the same stuff. Right? So if we bump this back down to the YM, and we go back to futures, and we choose the YMH, and we put it back on a 9 range. Now, to get it so it doesn't look all crunched up like that, double left click over here on price, and it auto centers it. Okay? So right now, at this time of the day, it's kind of hard to trade all these markets at once, because stuff just moves around so fast in this last 15 minutes here. Earlier, a question came to me earlier about the best times of the day to trade, and I was going to tell you the times of the day that I trade that I do well. 9:27 to 10 o'clock, then 1 to 1:30. This is all the Eastern time. 1 to 1:30 and 3:30 to 4. Okay, those are the times that I do well trading. It doesn't mean they're the best times, but they're the times that I do well. So they're the times that I can talk to. Okay. You know, there are other times you can trade, and they may be better, they may be slower, they may be faster. Depends what kind of trading you want to do. Alright, I told you we had a lot of information today. Does everybody feel totally overwhelmed by all this? It's just another day. You don't need to do all this stuff. You need to do one thing. One thing. You know, if you want to do the black arrows with with the white bar. If that was the only thing you wanted to do, then do that. If you want to do black arrows that are outside the bands, that's one thing, do that. If you want to do the purple bars, that's one thing, do that. I haven't finished working on these black bars yet. When I you know, I'm a trader just like you guys, so I'm always going to try to make it better for me. And when I make it better for me, I can make it better for you. Like that right there was a perfect spot to take that white bar with the black arrow. Perfect spot. And what's it doing? It's going to reverse right here. That's what it looks like. Because we got this black bar right here. The black bar suggests a reversal. It's not doing it right at the moment, but that's what it suggests. Now, we could have a white bar here on the YM. Could have a white bar with a black arrow on the YM with an up close. There it is. White bar with a black arrow on the up close on the YM right there. That's the trade you want to take. Here, I just jumped on it. I missed that one over there. I got that one. This could turn into one here on the ES too. White bar with the black arrow. The YM's still working. It hasn't bumped my stop yet. It's got to go 5 ticks into profit to bump my stop. There it goes. Bump my stop to plus a tick. We'll lock in 5. Route with 5 on that. This doesn't have the white bar, so I'm not interested in this black arrow right here. This black arrow was an interesting black arrow because it's outside the band, so that's something I would do. Okay. That was on the YM. 5. 12 trades. And there was this one over here I didn't get. There was not that one there. There was this one here I didn't get. There's one right now on the NQ. The black arrow with a white bar. And that one just gave me 4 ticks. It went enough to get my stop to 4 ticks and I came back out and took me out with 4 ticks, I think. Let me just go see. It didn't give me all 4. It did give me all 4. I'll show you. I guess I can use this. Let me save this, so if any of you guys want this, I can send it to you. Who are the guys that wanted me to send them that stuff for Ninja? Type your names in again. I scroll back up. Was it Sid? Is that you, Sid? No, it was up in that area, though. Send me that. That was Hal. Okay, Hal, you are one of them. And which AI do I find most trading development purposes? I use ChatGPT pretty much solely. No, wait, I have the paid for version of that. So Hal, you wanted it, and John, you wanted to. Okay. Nilesh. Okay, let me just write that down. Let me write it down right now, guys. Nilesh. Houston and Hal. Hal, I'm pretty sure I sent it to you before. Because we've had it for a couple of years now. 2023 is when I got it. So just a great trade right there. But guys, it's 355. No, that wasn't. This is the screenshot that I made. That wasn't just a great trade right there. Let me just save this. Just save it. And the thing that I brought this up for, I was going to show you that NQ trade where I got 4 ticks. Alright. Let me do this new. Here it was. 4 ticks on the NQ. You are welcome, John. And what is that? That's the ES. That's the YM. So the YM and the ES are going in opposite directions right now. And the NQ's got nothing. Alright. So the YM just bumped my stop to +1. Look in. That's just 4. So we've got 4 more on the YM. The ES has got it, but it's not going anywhere yet. Okay. And this could be one of my last trades here. I think we're going to have some more opportunity here, but they were at break even on the ES. I was going to go to +1 tick. end up with a break even. Alright, so we got 4 more on the YM. Puts that at 9, and we had another trade on the ES, so that puts our total trades at 14 now. Okay, and that was a trade right there on the NQ. Too late to get into. Alright. Hey, you know what I haven't done yet? I haven't showed you guys how to take the free trial or anything like that. If you haven't taken the free trial, go here to tvtrades.com and scroll down. Well, just hit one of these orange things and bring it down to the bottom. Take the free trial down here. $25 a week, $9 a month, $9.70 a year. Okay, that's how you take the free trial. You can also take it from Target View Trades. I think you can take it from here too. It's, if you go on the home page, I believe it's down here on the side on the home page. There it is right there. Do it from here too. Okay. And there'll be emails going out with all this stuff with the recording in it and everything else. So you guys will be able to just click on the link in the email if you want to as well. Okay. You are welcome, Dane. You are welcome too, John. And Cliff. Lots of stuff, huh? I'm constantly working. Constantly. Making things better. Okay. Now the NQ has a black arrow right here, and it's outside the band, and it's at the end of the day. It's like the last 2 minutes of the day. It's a trade. I took it. It's at +4 right now. I'm in at 29.75. Let's go there. 12. And I'm out with 12. It's got a purple one going the other way right now. Okay. So I took the purple one. I got 12 on the first one, and the purple one, it's got to go 10 ticks into profit to give me a break even +4. Hasn't done that yet. We're bound to have another stop out here. It may be our last trade of the session, but looks like it could be. Oh, almost. It's got to get up to 28.75. 28.75. It's just about 4 o'clock. It's going to make a big move one way or the other here, I think. The YM's also got a purple long. Gold's also got a purple long. I don't know about the ES. Does the ES have one too? No, the ES doesn't. Okay, so this is at +4 now. We're at 26.75. We're at +12, I think. And that's +12 there. Okay, so we're out with 12 on the NQ. Alright, we're out with 12 on the NQ. I'm gonna put that in. Put that in. Over here. Put that in. It's on this one. 12 more on the NQ. And it just gave us another purple one over there. So the NQ, we're at 107 now on the NQ. 15 trades. And I'm long the YM right now. I'm also long the gold. On the YM, we're going to lock in... Oh, we just got all 30 ticks on the YM. Okay, and here's the gold one. We had the purple arrows on all of them. The gold one still hasn't gone to break even yet. But we just got 30 more on the YM, so that's 39. That makes that 16. So we're out here now, 11,525 bucks. We could lose 1,500 bucks right now on this gold trade, because that hasn't bumped it yet. Here's the gold trade. It's gonna stop us out. I really don't want my last trade to be a stop out, but it looks like it's gonna be. Yep, gold was it. So we stopped out on gold. And that puts us down to 26. Yeah, 26. And this to 17. And this knocks us down to 88% of our trades to break even or better. Well, we're still at 10,000 bucks. Alright, that is going to be it, guys. If you haven't taken a free trial with us, go here to tvtrades.com, click on any one of these orange buttons here, and it'll bring you down to the bottom. This recording will be emailed to you like 3 different ways. But you'll also be able to go out here to targetviewtrades.com. If you go to targetviewtrades.com, it will be right here, I think. This is the latest thing that I have in Facebook, so it'll be right here. It'll also be in not Facebook. It's the latest thing that I have in YouTube. Right, this is my YouTube feed, so it'll be right here. In the future, it will be right here. And next week's session, you'll be able to sign up for right here from targetviewtrades.com. You'll be able to sign up for it right here next week's. That's going to be in like an hour. You'll be able to do all that stuff. Okay. Paul SP, does this work on NinjaTrader range chart the same way? Do I have these bands for NinjaTrader? No, I do not, Paul. Nope. You can trade on Ninja, but you got to get TradingView charts. Okay. The thing with Ninja is you got to become part of the Ninja ecosystem. And though I am with one business, I don't want to be with this business. If I could find a way to do it outside the ecosystem, Paul, then I would. But if you're within their ecosystem, then they can just pull the rug out from under you anytime. If you don't reply to an email, which they did to me one time. So, I don't want to be part of their ecosystem. So get TradingView. You know, for $22 you can have TradingView with everything that you see here, well, with 2 charts anyway. And live data for $22. This is a trader on the one on the NQ I just took. Here it is. I'm gonna go to +8 on that. It'd be great if he gave me like 45 ticks to make up for that stop out on the gold, but at least we're gonna end with a positive trade. Okay. Looks like we're gonna get 8 on it. And we did. Alright. That is gonna be the end of it. The trading. So 115 and 18. So 88.89% of our trades were break even in this session. This is day number 36. So in the 36 days that we've been keeping track of this, we're up $157,750 with 10 contracts, or $15,775 with 1, or $1,577 with 1 micro. Right? That's an average of $4,381 per session, or $438 per session, or $43 per session. Any one of those is enough to pay for the subscription fee. Okay, Paul, if you tell me a way that I can get stuff on NinjaTrader and not go through the ecosystem, or I could manage subscriptions, then I'll get it on NinjaTrader. I couldn't find a way to do that. Alright, so that's going to be it, guys. I am going to wrap it up here. Thank you all for coming. Again, go to targetviewtrades.com. There's a ton of information at this page. There's videos you can watch. You know, I started out going through the original stuff because I wanted you guys to see how it evolved over the years. Okay, and there's just so much opportunity. So much opportunity here for you guys. And with TV trades, you know, for the $25 a week or the $90 a month and $9.97 a year, I mean, that is nothing for what you get, the value you get with this. That is nothing. I'm just about giving it away. No, creating an indicator doesn't, Paul. I can create the indicator. That's not the problem. Distributing the indicator, that's the problem. Believe me, I know. I'm part of the ecosystem with another business, but that's how I know that, you know, the problems with it. Yeah, I just took another NQ trade, that white bar. There's 8, 12. And they just keep coming up. I gotta keep taking them. Guarding the trials for the 3 days. Are those working days or include weekends? It includes weekends, but what days are right now? It's Wednesday, so if you get it right now, you know, then you have it. Well, you have it through Friday. And really, you know, in those 3 days, you should be able to figure out, it's $25. It's nothing. It's not even a pizza. You know, it's not even a half a tank of gas. And you see, I'm just adding on and adding on right here. And I'm hardly even paying attention. This is it's not going to get much simpler than this. Well, I'll make it simpler. I will. I'll make it simpler. But I don't know how yet. I'll figure it out. This black bar right here, that's one way that I'm working on. Because right there, you would have sold... Actually, it's a purple one. Well, you would have sold the purple bar, but the black ones, like here, you would have bought the down close. So what I'm working on is so you don't have to wait for the bar to close in the opposite direction and waste that whole bar. In this case right here, you would have bought the down close instead of waiting for the purple bar to close up. You would have bought the down close and been in before the purple bar started. That's what I'm working on. But I'll get around to it. Alright. That is it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. I got a bunch of work to do after I get done with this. So, thank you all for coming today. If you have any questions, you are welcome, David. If you guys have any questions, you can email support@targetviewtrades.com. Do not try to contact me through the stupid chat thing that comes up on the web page. I thought I had shut that thing off because that goes to an email that I only look at about once a week. So if you ask me something in there that's really pressing, I'm not going to get to it. Email support@targetviewtrades.com. Most of you guys have my phone number. You can contact me on my phone number. You can also contact me on Telegram. My ID on Telegram is @trading_I_Q. That's my ID on Telegram. Okay? That's it, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up. Welcome, John. Thanks for coming, everybody.